Hi everyone, my name is Michele Harrington and I'm the CEO of First Team Real Estate. And today I have Dave Archuletta with me, and Dave runs a team in an amazing office in Rancho Mission Viejo in Orange County. And he's done so well with his team and just running a business. I thought it would be great if we learned a little bit from Dave. So,
Yay!
Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you because you've run one of the most successful teams I've seen, not just in like monetary success and the number of transactions, but how much fun you have, how much the agents love being part of your team. And I just wanted to kind of get a feeling from you on like, why did you decide to start a team? I know your wife, who's been in real estate longer than you, said she never wanted to start a team and there's too much drama and too much headache, and you come along and now you have this huge team. So what changed?
I like to create things.
Okay.
You know, so I felt like we were at a place where we're kind of tapped out by ourselves. So the only thing left to do was we got to figure out this team model and create something that people would be attracted to and something that we could add value to. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, I started thinking about it and processing it probably for like 6 months. Mm-hmm. To figure out, okay, how can I make it different than all the other teams and make it something that people would want to be a part of. Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Awesome.
So we're, we got a lot of guys on the team. I think we're at 16 total now.
Okay.
Which is awesome. And that's all like, low on the radar. I haven't really recruited or anything. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of been word of mouth. And so I'm kind of a little nervous to like start recruiting. Because, it could go faster, and, I just got to make sure I'm ready. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing, is creating those systems to scale more and handle what comes in. Yeah. Because I still always want to be able to add that value to those agents that are on the team. Mm-hmm. And you're right. Like, I try to create a culture that, it's fun, you're going to learn stuff, and you're going to do stuff. Mm-hmm. So, like, the best feedback I can have from the guys on my team is, like last week I asked, hey, how's everything going, guys? How am I doing as your team lead? And, a lot of the agents say, I've learned more in the last 3 weeks than I did in 2 years total on another team or another brokerage. Mm-hmm. So to me, that's like the best thing I could ever hear, because I want to be able to make sure I'm adding that value to where people feel like they have enough to create a business and create a sustainable business. Yeah. Right? Because I always tell them, you're never going to be one of the ones that are the 87% that fail. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just not acceptable to me. So I'm going to do everything I can. Now it's up to you to do the work. Yeah. So.
And you don't provide, you're not buying leads. You're not like feeding them with internet leads. Mm-mm. You've created a team that's based on more learning and coaching and helping them get better as people. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. Yeah, so I tried the lead thing, and it just didn't work out. I honestly didn't like it, and it was a waste of my money because I was generating a lot of leads just by word of mouth and just running YouTube ads, Facebook ads, mm-hmm. open houses, mailers, and things like that. So I've kind of just taught the team, like, if you're a new agent, hey, you've probably got 2,000 people in your phone. Right, mm-hmm. And there's 8 to 10% of those people are going to move or sell in the next 18 months. So why don't you start calling those people? Mm-hmm. And one agent took me up on that offer, and she got 4 deals in 6 months. Wow. As a new agent, and that was pretty awesome because she used that to catapult her business. And so now all the other agents are starting to do that. I give them all open house opportunities. I've showed them how to get open houses that aren't even mine. Mm-hmm. Call some people, get some open houses. Like, an agent just called me today. She said, hey, I got a buyer from the open house I worked on Saturday, and it was just a random, another RE/MAX agent, mm-hmm. and she worked it, and they want to write an offer, and those things are awesome.
Yeah, that's really
cool. I try to coach people and create opportunities for them to, do things.
Now, do you feel like the time you spend in coaching and training and helping other agents grow their business takes away from your business or your ability to earn more money or?
Sometimes. Yeah. But that's what you sign up for, Mm-hmm. I don't know. I love it because it's kind of like my sweet spot.
Yeah.
Like it honestly, it fuels me into doing my business because it's just fulfilling for me, and being able to see someone have success because of something we were talking about and tried and it worked, like that gets me all like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So then I take that energy and that fuel, and it helps me keep going in my business. So, I mean, I love selling. I love the relational aspect of real estate. I mean, that's what we're in the business of, is relationships. So I love that part of the business. So I don't think I'll ever give that up, because I know some team leads kind of give that up and focus more on the team, but I'm not there yet. You know, maybe later on in the future, but I like both sides.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like me leading people motivates me more to be better at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm the example that they're looking at. I'm the one that they're looking up to. So I have to be even better at what I'm doing than before, when I was just kind of doing my own thing by myself.
Yeah.
It's motivating, and it's
kind of like built-in accountability, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't tell people to do one thing and you don't do it yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of, I don't know, it's like having your own coach, but it's not, because it's your business, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what is that, when you wake up in the morning, you know, I know you wake up fired up, and I'm the same way. Like, I wake up fired up, and sometimes I'm not really sure why. What do you think it is that like helps you like kind of wake up? Is it like a ton of coffee, or is it something else?
Oh, coffee, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just driven. You know, like I love work. I love what I do. So I think when you're passionate about something that you love to do, you're always excited to do it. I think having habits is important, because I think once you're in a routine, it's easier to get up in the morning and just get in the routine and do it, right?
Yeah.
Versus if you don't if your schedule's all over the place and you don't have a routine set up, you're never going to work on the business or in the business. You know what I mean? You're just going to just be spraying all over the place and hoping something sticks.
Yeah.
So like, I always try to focus on working on the business in the mornings. You know, like kids get ready, they're out the door at 7:30, and then I go and just start working. And usually I try to keep everything until 12 o'clock to just do stuff, whether that's follow up on calls, making calls, prospecting for more business, doing marketing and stuff like that. And then after 12 is when all my appointments I try to schedule.
Yeah.
You know, all the listings and, you know, inspections or whatever I need to do. So having that time consistently has really helped me focus. Because, you know, about a year ago, 2 years ago, it was just all over. And I didn't have anything like set. But now it's like I get my coffee, I sit down, and I just work.
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of makes it easier. You know,
Yeah.
because no one likes to make phone calls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but you have to. You know, it's like agents always ask me, how does your pipeline, how's it always full? Well, I look at my phone and it's like, well, I spend about 5,000 to 6,000 minutes a month talking to clients.
Nice.
You know, on average for like a 9-12 month span. So that's a lot of phone calls, you know? So every day that's multiple hours on the phone, 2,000-3,000 text messages a month. And so when I can ask my guys on my team, well, what does your phone look like? You know? Because it's really like, who's going to make the most calls? It's going to get the business, because it just creates opportunities. And once you get that opportunity, and you walk through it, and if it works out, it works out. You know, it's like you got to match with the right client, and if you have a good value proposition, it's not hard.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks our business is really easy, which is it's not. But what's easy about it is if you're consistent at it, you can be successful, because 99% of the agents aren't consistent and they don't do the hard work.
Exactly.
You know, so you know you're like you crush it and you kill it. You're disciplined, and that's why you're so successful. From the day one that I've known you to where you are today, you're always consistent. No matter where you are, no matter what seat you're sitting in, you're consistent with your discipline. And if agents just took that mindset, just be consistent, do the work, and you will have success.
Yeah.
So I love it, because we're in charge of our destiny.
Yeah.
You know, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah.
You can't blame the market, because people, regardless of what the market's like, they're going to buy or sell regardless. So why can't it be you? you know?
Yeah.
So
That's what I love about this business. Like, I feel like there's really nothing holding you back. There's no like politics you have to play, or like, does my boss like me? Am I going to get promoted? You know, who do I have to like kiss his ass or take him out for drinks or something like that to like, you know, get a step up? There's none of that. It's literally like how hard you work, how much you persevere, and how much you stick to it will make or break you, will make you successful or make you not successful. Like, there's nobody else. There's no like magic hand that's like holding you down.
Yeah.
And I love that about this business. And I feel like it's such a great way to take advantage of like the free market, you know? And I love the way you do it with your agents, that you kind of like give them like a step up and like coaching and accountability. And do you feel like when you get a new agent on board with your team, like, what do you do to kind of like launch them into like, you know, so they can be like a birdie and fly?
So we do weekly team meetings. It's always an hour and a half every Thursday. Every 2 weeks we do called Next Level training, and it's always like a topic of some sort of whatever it may be. And then once a month we do all training, all guys on the team come, and we do on-site training. So like the best example, I call it heads and hearts training, and I love it because it totally represents us as a team. Like, we all give with our heads, but we do it with our hearts. So we're all pitching in, trying to help people be better at what they do, but we do it with a place from compassion and a place of like, I'm doing this because I want you to be better. So the first one we did was a listing presentation. So we actually went to a house and we did 2 listing presentations with a real buyer, and everyone got to watch. And then after each one, we sat around on a table and we all gave our insight. And you know, what was great about it? What's working? Like, do more of that. What's missing? You know, like, how can you make it better? And then what can we change to help, you know, this person do better? Because you're not going to be me, and I'm not going to be you. So you have to train people to be the best of them, who they are. But you can see what everybody else does, and maybe there's something that you can take, bring it into your business, and make it your own, right? So seeing all those kind of insights is really cool, because it kind of puts you on the spot. And it's awkward. You know, when you've got 10, 15 people sitting around and you're doing a listing presentation, it's awkward. Like, I had them do it, and then I did mine. I said, this is what I do, you know? And I don't expect you to be me, but I want you to just to see what works for me, right? And like, of course I'm nervous, you know what I mean? And I don't get nervous during a listing press, but that's like just nerve-wracking. So it was kind of cool, because it gets your nerves out, and then you just get to hear other perspectives, and then just grab some nuggets and make it your own. So we've done that. We also do like buyer presentation with another one. Anything I can do to like add training to help people. And then I also do one-on-one coaching. I call it Prime. Anyone that wants to sign up just gets 20 minutes one-on-one coaching twice a month. So that's just helpful because everyone has a different model. Some people, you know, don't want to focus on this, they want to focus on this. And so, you know, we tailor it towards what your goals are. You know, some people want to do 10 transactions, some want to do 30 in a year. So let's figure out what it is and work backwards from that. So
if an agent was, you know, coming into being a successful agent in this business, and they were like, I'm going to go the route of starting a team, or I'm just going to go the route of keep being solo. What type of person is it, do you think, that you should say, do not start a team, you're not that kind of person, or yes, you need to start a team? Like, what's the dividing factor between those who should and those who shouldn't?
Such a great question. In my mind, you know, I don't think there's a right answer, you know, but I think the people that have to hold on to things or hold on to ideas, probably you should just stick to being a solo agent. Right? Because
like, if you're a control freak, in other words.
Control freak, but also like, you don't like to share your ideas.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm totally transparent with my team. I say, here's what's working, go try it. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to be okay with that, and someone taking your idea and possibly leaving your team. You know what I mean? Like, I can't worry about someone taking the ideas that I've given them and they leave my team and be pissed. You know, that's why I have the value masters of forgetfulness. You know, pivot, be pissed about something, and 3 minutes later, let's move on and let the past remain the past. So, I don't know, I like to share everything that I can to help and add value, and then just let them do what they want. You know, if they can use it, awesome. If not, no big deal. But I think the guys that are afraid to share those ideas, because there's a lot of agents like that, you know, maybe not the best team leads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with not being a team leader. I mean, like, not everybody has to go that route.
Well, totally. Like, not everybody can be a team lead.
Yeah.
It takes a special skill set, right?
Yeah.
Because you also
a lot
gotta
of
be,
patience.
You got to be super patient.
Yeah.
I mean, my phone blows up every day with guys from my team.
Yeah.
You know, and there's times I can't answer, and they have to be okay with that. But they have me, they have Julia, and like, there's other guys on the team, and that's why I've created that culture of like, hey, I'm not just the only guy that can answer your questions. We've got 16 people on the team. Some of these guys have been doing this 20-something years. There's a lot of good knowledge in our team. So reach out to the team if you can't get a hold of me.
Yeah.
And so it's helped a lot, alleviate some of the time for me, and also let the team feel like they can contribute. So.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah, so you got to be a good teacher.
Yeah.
And you got to know what's ahead before they can know what's ahead, if that makes sense. So you kind of have to be able to see the future, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes good leaders, is that you're always a step ahead of what everyone else is. That makes a good team leader.
Yeah. I know one thing that I love about you is you're always learning, and you pick up stuff, and you're always calling me and saying, Michelle, what do you think about this idea? So where do you feel like you get most of your learning from? Is it like books or mastermind groups, or just listening to podcasts, or like where do you learn the most?
I mean, I love conferences, but it's getting harder and harder to get to conferences, just with the family and the kids and stuff. But that was probably my biggest thing to do, was go to conferences, and not only like refueled me and refreshed me, but you just learn so much. And some of it's basic, but I always take that approach. You can learn one thing from everything, even if it's something that you already know. Like, you've nailed your listing presentation and there's nothing you think you need to add. Well, if like you're at a conference and they're talking about it, well, maybe there's something I haven't learned yet that I maybe can add. So I kind of always have that mindset, like, everything's not perfect. Maybe there's one thing that I can enhance because everyone else is growing. I gotta grow, right?
Yeah.
So conferences, I love masterminds, I love books. I read books a lot. I listen to audiobooks. I'm crazy. I'll buy the book and I'll listen to the audiobook, and I'll do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they,
like that.
they
it
say
sinks
like,
in better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you put the audiobook on like time and a half, so it's like. But like that helps a lot, because you can it doesn't have to be real estate related. Like, I'm reading a book on Disney. How they create a great experience for customers, and I want to try to see how can I relate that to real estate and up my customer service.
Nice.
So things like that, like, we don't have to read real estate books.
Yeah.
We're in relationship business, so read books about relationships, client experience, and business, and like how to set up your business. There's a book called Traction that changed everything for me like a year ago. Christian Stubbs told me about it. A great book on how to set up your business, and you can read it a million times and it's still never enough.
Yeah.
There's just so much info in it.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Those are good books.
So when you're looking at, you're still building your team and you still want to grow, I assume. And so what kind of person are you looking for that you would say, I would love to have you on my team?
So before I started the team, my coach said, what do you believe in? What are your values? What do you stand for? And I told him everything. He's like, okay, where can I find that? And I said, you can't. It's all in here. So he said, okay, that's the first thing we need to do. We need to write down, I call them layers. It's the same thing as core values. I like the term layers because I think of it like a tree trunk, and those outer layers fold off and they peel off and new layers form. So that's why I kind of have layers, because this is the season I'm in. Maybe there's a new layer that's going to come on in 5 years. So I've got 4, and I run all my agents through that grid is what I call it. If they pass all 4 of those things, then I invite them to be on the team. And if I see a red flag, I tell them, I see a red flag in this, and you have to pass all of these for me. You know, because it only takes one bad seed to cause, you know, bad fruit in the culture. So
yeah.
So that's what
and you haven't had that bad seed yet, or
I haven't.
Oh, that's good.
I've gotten lucky.
Yeah.
You know, I literally like meet with every single person over at least an hour and a half, and just really get to know them and tell me stories about who you are in those, you know, the mindset of those 4 questions of my 4 values. Like, they got to be welcoming, curious, and thoughtful. You know, they have to be people work is greater than paperwork. You know, they got to value people.
Yeah.
Like, show me a time when you've cared about people. You know, like, tell me a story. You know, Masters of Forgetfulness is the 3rd one. And then 360 degrees of generosity. Like, I want guys on the team that are generous, you know, because our whole team model is like, can you be generous and give to the team without holding it back, right? Because that's why people don't like to join teams, is that, well, no one's going to share ideas, or I don't want to share ideas because what if they steal it? You know, so I want to create that culture where everyone contributes. No one ever worries about someone else on the team taking the idea and running with it. Like, take it, let's run, let's share ideas. And then let's get back to our clients. If there's something that's keeping that deal apart and it's something minimal, let's be generous and figure it out. And then be generous with the industry. I want to have a team that we make an impact on real estate. You know, so if you have an opportunity to go speak somewhere, like, go do it. Don't ask about how much does it pay or how much time it's going to take. Just go give back, because, you know, years before you were sitting and you didn't know anything. Yeah. And now you do. So give back to someone that's in that same position that you used to be in. Because I promise, the more that you give, the more that you're going to get back in return. It's just the way that it works.
100%.
So that's kind of my grid I run through. So if the agents, if I feel like they pass through all that, then I invite them on the team, and so far it's working.
Yeah, so far so good.
It's kind of cool to sit back and like see the culture, you know, and like see them hanging out outside of work meetings and things like that. Like, I love it. I'm like, how cool
it's
is
like
this?
a family.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's pretty cool. Like, it's rewarding for me.
Yeah.
So
if you were to talk to a brand new agent today who wanted to start in real estate, what would be the best advice you could give them?
Join a team for sure.
Yeah. My team.
Join my team. No, but seriously, like, here's the thing: if you're not on a team, you're in a big office with 200-300 agents, and that manager only has so much time to give you one-on-one time. Yeah. Versus if you're on a team, not only do you get that full benefit of that big office, but you get the benefit of the small team, and there's just so much value to add to you, because the team's going to tell you, hey, like for me, I've tried all these things, none of that works, but this is the one that does, so let's do that. You know, so you save so much guesswork, right? Yeah. Like, I always tell the guys, like, hey, I've done all these things for a reason, so you don't have to. Yeah. So maybe just listen to why it doesn't work, and this one does. Yeah. You know, because Julie always says I have squirrel syndrome, but I don't. I have like smart squirrel. Yeah. You know, like, I always want to know.
Try a bunch of different things. I call it. So I call it firing, like with a bird shot instead of buckshot. Like, fire with bird shot, meaning like you fire once, you throw a bunch of little pellets out there and see what sticks. You don't spend like the money on like a bazooka. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like just aim at this one thing that you think might work and blow it to smithereens. Yeah. You want to fire like bird shot, just little pellets, and see what sticks. So I think there is a need to like experiment like that.
Totally. Yeah. And technology is changing so much. You never know if that one thing is going to help enhance something. So if there's always like one techie tool that might help my client have a better experience, like, of course I want to try it and see if it could work for my business. Yeah. You know, it's not I have squirrel syndrome, it's I'm being a smart squirrel. I like you have to be. You're an entrepreneur, right? Yep. Like, if you don't do that, like, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice by not seeing what else is out there to make your business better.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm just trying everything, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's an art to it, and you got to be business savvy about it, but you have to be open to things. you know, instead of just closed-minded. Well, I'm going to do this because this is the way it's always worked. Well, if we ran our businesses like we did 2 years ago, it's not working today because things are moving so fast. Like the client wants the Amazon Prime Plus experience, you know? Prime is not enough anymore.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like
same day delivery by 2 p.m.
You know what I mean? Like you order something on Amazon Prime and you're like, I have to wait until tonight at 5. It's only 3 o'clock. Why does it take me so long? So I think clients are the same way. They like, if they text you and they call you, they want a response right away.
Yeah.
So how can you do that when you've got 20, 30 escrows going on and you've got a lot of people calling you? You got to figure out a way to make it work so you can still create that Amazon Prime, hour delivery experience.
Yeah, so. I agree. Well, I appreciate you spending the time and teaching our audience about real estate, being on a team, starting a team, and all the things that have made you successful. I know we didn't go to all the things that have made you successful, but it's great to just, like I said, give back to the industry and help other people dream big and be big.
Dream big.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.